All right, guys. So my name's Chad Ramsey. For those of you who have not met, I'm the Vice President of Sales for Meritage, and we have, invited a lot of our agent partners to this today because, frankly, we think you guys are a big deal, right? So, in case you missed it, we value our realtor relationships, and we have a variety of things on our next slide that you'll see are a bit of perks, right? So. On the next slide there, you'll see that variety of perks, but one of them is education, right? And that's what today is about. And that's why we've invited John in, who's a bit of an expert on social media, because we think that's a way that your business can improve its reach, right? And you can you can stay connected with your buyers and generate new potential buyers, right? So we do have a number of folks that have told us that they wanted to join but couldn't make it today for a variety of reasons. So John is recording this just so you know. So we'll say hello to all of you who are watching this later. The next slide, this is just a couple of reminders for. I'm going to share just a couple things about Meritage, and you guys can, and hopefully this maybe is a reminder, maybe something new for you, and then John's going to take it away. So on the next slide, John, you can see a couple of bullet points that we like to remind you of. So we have over 100 homes in the greater Nashville and Clarksville areas currently that are available to purchase and move into within about 60 days. So, and that's generally the case for us. So when you're working with prospective buyers, know that you can get new construction for a quick move in with the latest and greatest trends and blinds and refrigerator and washer and dryer and everything that you need to be quote move in ready. And by the way, all of our homes are energy efficient, so they're going to save you money on your utilities. If you happen to be on a computer and you want to pull out your phone, you can scan that QR code and you'll see that list of homes. Now, there may be there are homes that are in process of being added to our website or to the MLS. So if you ever have a buyer and you're looking for something in a specific area or price point and you want to reach out to our team, you can, and we will be happy to share with you what's about to hit the MLS or about to hit the market, and we'll try to give you. We'll just be a bit of a concierge for you if that can be helpful to get your buyers or maybe first dibs or first look at what's available. I'd be remiss if I didn't remind you that we're committed to a competitive commission. So everything that we have today is listed at 3% commission for you guys. I know there's been a lot of conversation around that. So fully committed to our partnership. And in fact, we actually have a goal internally to have 100% of our transactions with realtors because we do believe that is the best for our business to continue to grow and partner with you guys. So there may be times when we work with prospective buyers that don't have agents or maybe need an agent to sell their home. So we will be referring them out. So if you haven't already, make sure you're connected with one of our sales counselors so that you guys can know each other and that can be happening. I know there's been folks that are coming in getting social media content in our models and in our quick move-in homes, so they can help you with that as well. And then John's going to tell us what you can do with that content today, right? So John, if you want to go to the next slide, this is just a quick reminder of the communities that we have that we're currently selling in, and then just wanted to highlight that Briar Creek, which I was there this morning, and is in Cane Ridge. So we're going to have the floor plans that you're used to seeing in a majority of our communities will be built there, but we'll have a unique feature where we've got quite a few home sites there that will accommodate a third car garage. So that's something really exciting about Briar Creek. And then Poplar Farms is much anticipated community coming to Franklin. So both of those we expect to be offering homes that can be ready to move into ideally by around the end of the year. And so those will be hitting the market later this fall. On the next slide, we do have a featured community. We want to take just a few moments to tell you about that. So I've invited Ryan Delion, if he is available, to just give us a couple bullet points really quickly on Harbor Crossing.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chad. Yes, Harbor Crossing is one of our townhome communities in Gallatin. It's in that south side of Gallatin that borders kind of right along Hendersonville. So we are zoned Jack Anderson Elementary and Station Camp Middle and High School. And I think the biggest thing to inform buyers about is the commercial growth that's happening in this part of Gallatin. We're about half a mile from the new proposed Foxland Harbor Marina. It's literally at the end of this road. So that's a huge excitement for everybody out here. And then we have a ton of new restaurants opening. Specifically, ML Rose is coming. They have a sign out for coming soon with barbecue. So you're seeing a lot of growth in this part of town, and it's not a ton of residential growth. So our opportunities are going to be some of the last that are not that commercial growth. So good opportunities for your buyers to call home, get into those top rated schools, and um, have everything accessible to them.
Make sure you know who our team is. So these are our sales counselors. I know many of you, probably all of you, were invited by one of them. So we've got a great team of folks. They can help you in any of our communities. So we really do just try to make that a very seamless process for you. So you can reach out to them, and they can help you kind of get into homes and know what's available or what's about to hit the market across all of our communities. So without further ado, John Burke, who's been highly recommended to us, he's done this similar approach with multiple of divisions within our organization. We've gotten really good feedback, so we're happy to have him come and talk to us a little bit about social media. So, John, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the introduction. I'm really excited to be here. I'm going to let you guys know, and I'm just going to kind of riff off of what Chad just talked about. You guys are spoiled as far as agents go with builders. I don't know anybody else that is doing this kind of training for you guys. Um, I think this is awesome. I'm really excited to be doing this for you guys. And it just sounds like Meritage just has a whole lot to offer, not just with the training, but also I'm a lender. I'm not a realtor, so I know the numbers, and getting that rate down really makes a huge difference. That's about a $75,000 purchase price difference as far as monthly payment goes. So that means they can now qualify for $75,000 more, or they're just saving that and they're putting that back in their pocket on top of the energy savings. So I just think that's really awesome. So thank you for kind of explaining that for us. Um, and thank you for hosting this training. I would have everybody give a round of applause, but you're all muted, so it won't make any difference. So thank you for being here. Let me do a quick intro of myself. I'm John Burke. If you have seen me on social, it's probably as John B. Mortgage. I am a loan officer. I have been for actually I'm going on I'm actually at 8 years just a few days ago. So I've been in the business for 8 years. I built my business through social media. Almost everything that I touch is because I was on social first, and I saw a hole in kind of our industry where there's just not a lot of resources for agents, especially with how to use social media. You guys know that it's important. You know that you want to be there, but you don't necessarily have a lot of the resources to make it happen, right? And so I thought, well, I can do that. I can show everyone else how to do it too. So that's why I'm here. I want to show you guys how to. You guys know the term sphere of influence, right? I want you to be able to create that sphere of influence, but do it through social media and reach a different audience than you would normally just in person to person contact, and use that to grow your business. And so let me give you a couple of resources first. This first one on the left is that's just my contact info. So if you ever have questions, you're doing a piece of content, you want to run some ideas, or even if you've got, I'm a lender, so if you've got questions on that, or if you want to, do a piece of content about the numbers and, run some things or anything like that, just feel free to reach out to me for anything that you've got, and I'm happy to do that with you. And then the other one on the right, and a bunch of you guys uh, requested to be in the rec room um, uh, just recently when you got signed up. So I'm going to let all of you guys in. But if you haven't requested yet, this is a really good space to learn new things. We do a lot of training just like this. I do spotlights of different creators. I do news articles. I talk about what's trending in social media, and it's all realtors and loan officers, just anybody in the industry that wants to do more on social media. It's a really good place for you. So feel free to connect that way. Um, and then last one, oh, it always does this to me. It makes me switch. Hold on, sorry. Let me get this back up. There we go. Sorry about that. You guys can still see my screen? Okay, just making sure it didn't switch on me. This is one more that I wanted to give you, and I may just go ahead and give this to you guys regardless. But this is a content calendar that I send out every week on Fridays. It's just prompts for different pieces of content that you can make, ideas. We do different themes every week, and I put everything in there. I tell you what to talk about, how to talk about it, the type of video to do, the trending audio to use in certain ones. Sometimes it's little things about how to edit. Sometimes I just make something and I just tell you, here, download this and post it. So this is a good resource if you want to do more content. It takes a lot of the thinking out of it, and takes a lot of the time commitment out. So feel free to use that, and let me know what you think. And I'll get that out to you guys later this week so you can kind of start seeing how that works and what that looks like. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to break down some of the basics for where to start on social media, what to be looking for, how to use it. And then we're going to get into, toward the end, we're going to get into some practical stuff and actually start using some of these tools that I sent out to you guys earlier both today and I sent them out yesterday as well. But I will make sure to get that out to you when I send you the I'm going to send you this slide deck um, and the recording of this video. So don't feel like you have to take pictures of anything or write a whole bunch of stuff down. Definitely take notes, but I'm going to give you all of it. Okay, I don't gatekeep anything. So you'll have all of this, probably by tomorrow. Um, so, what we're going to talk about first are the three pillars of social media. Okay, the three things that you want to stay focused on when you are creating a social presence, and then we're going to talk about how to use those. So, number one is be intentional. Uh, it is very easy to fall into the I will get to social media when I can, right? That it always sort of takes a back seat. It becomes a secondary part of our marketing. But really, it needs to be something we need to be focused on. It needs to be part of our business, not just an addition to our business. It needs to be a part of what we do on a daily basis. And so making it, giving it that importance will make a big difference in how you treat the rest of your content creation and as well as your engagement on social media. Um, so the second thing is you need to be yourself. So it is very simple, and we're going to get into this, but it's very simple to feel like you've got to copy somebody that you really like to watch, or you feel like you have to do things a certain way in order to be worthy or valuable on social media. That is not the case. You just need to be you. You need to be who you are for your clients and to your clients, and you just need to do that on a much bigger scale and give that to a lot more people. Because it's going to be important for them to know you before they even consider working with you. Okay, so be thinking about that as we go through this. And then, of course, be consistent, just like any other part of your business, because you are running a business, right? This is you. This is 100% on you. No matter how badly we don't want it to be, it is. And so we have to have tools, we have to have systems in place that will allow us to be consistent. So definitely consider that as one of your main goals for your social presence is finding a rhythm and finding something that works for you and maintaining that. Because that's the only way it'll work. If it's hit or miss, your success is going to be hit or miss, right? So make sure that you're focused on that, just like any other part of your business. So, number one is be intentional. And what I tell everyone is be very careful of the doom scroll. I'm sure, and feel free to raise your hand or put in the comments if you would. Is anyone else other than just me guilty of uh, getting sucked into the doom scroll of social media? Because it's very easy to say jump on TikTok and watch 45 minutes go by and not have any idea what you were just doing, right? And you got nothing done. And I did it last night. I did this to myself where uh, I was writing content for one of my groups, and I was just looking for inspiration on TikTok, and literally was. I'm saying this from experience. I was on there for 45 minutes and I had barely anything. And I'm like, I just burned through all of this time, and now it's like 11 o'clock at night, and I still have to do what I was working on. So be very careful of that. And understand yourself, understand the platforms that you're working with, and be very careful about getting sucked into them, and just using them as a form of uh, you know, sorry, I just got a call and I was muting it. Using them as a form of entertainment or downtime, and that's important. You can still do that, but when you're on there to learn and get inspired and engage with your audience, make sure that you are staying very focused on that. While you're on those apps. So whichever ones you prefer, just be very careful not to get sucked in. And one of the ways to do that is set a time limit for yourself. And I'm going to show you a more broken down way of how we can do that. But set yourself a time limit so that you can I say, I'm only going to be on here for, make it short, maybe like 10 minutes. And I'm going to sit here for 10 minutes and I'm going to do what I got to do. And then I'm going to move on. And that's it. And I'll come back to it later. I'll do my personal scrolling a different time, but set a time limit and set it at a specific time of day. That you're going to engage with social media. You're going to look for specific types of content. You're going to answer people's questions. You're going to, give high value comments on other people's content. So be very intentional with what you're doing and what you're looking for while you're in that social media time. Um, and then while you're in there, I want you to focus on two different things. Number one, I want you to focus on relationships. Um, don't just go in there and engage with everything that is viral, or focus on your own content that might be doing well, because there's a lot more than likes and trends and what you're kind of naturally attracted to. Be looking specifically for something, and what that needs to be is it needs to be, you have to define what your goal is on social media, what you're doing there, and kind of what your niche is. And so let's say you do a lot of new construction, right? When you are doing your intentional scrolling, you want to be running through and looking for particular types of content in order to engage with the right people and start new relationships with them. Um, and I'll tell you how that works in a second. But for an example, um, one thing that's very popular on social media is inspectors going through and looking at these ugly inspections and all of these things that are all messed up. And sometimes it's new construction, and that's when you can go in and say, "Hey, this is why I always tell my clients, you need to have an inspector, you need to have somebody out there. I've got a great list of people that I always use and I always recommend." Not Meritage homes. You guys don't have to worry with them, but there's some others out there that some of these, pop up. They get them up real quick. You got to be careful with those. But if that's your thing, then you need to go in there and you need to tell people how to avoid that sort of thing, right? Answer people's questions that they're asking of the creator, because especially if it's viral, if there's a lot of comments in there, the creator's not going to answer all of them. It's just not possible. It can't be done. So if you go in there and you comment on someone else's comment, or if you comment on someone else's post, what you're doing is you're adding value in the moment, right? You're giving them something valuable right then and there, but it's also telling the algorithm, say it's Instagram. It's also telling Instagram, hey, these two made a connection on social media, and they need to talk more. Like that's the goal for the algorithm, is they need to see more of each other. So now your content, your videos, is going to be shown to them while they're scrolling later, right? Because you guys had an interaction of some kind. So the more of those purposeful, intentional interactions that you can have with other clients, potential clients, or potential, new buyers, or somebody that's asking a question about selling their home. Should we get an inspection first? Should we, and that's just an example, but anything that you can do to add value more so than just like a bunch of fire emojis, that does not count. Um, a valuable comment is something that's a minimum of 5 words or more. Some even say it needs to be like 7 or 8 words. It needs to be something that's actually telling them an answer to their question or a solution to their pain points, something that's giving them a reason to follow up with you, or ask another question, anything that's going to incite some sort of engagement. So um, be looking for that sort of content and that sort of value to give to your audience and to another creator's audience, right? And if you're giving value on their content, they're going to see more of your content, which means their audience is going to see more of your content. So it's just a spider web. The more that you can engage on social, the better your own content's going to do. And a lot of people ask me, which one's more important? Should I post content, or should I engage in other people's content? And honestly, I'm a content creator. That's what I do. Um, I engagement is honestly more important, because you can have content out there and it's great, but if you're not answering questions, if you're not engaging with your audience, it's great for them, it's good content for them, but it's not getting anything for you. So it's not helping your business if you're not engaging. So be very intentional looking for relationships in that way. Um, and then not just looking for ways that you can connect with other people, directly in like comments, or in utilizing that other content, or answering people on your own content. Get a pulse of what is going on in the industry, what's going on in your community, from other creators. And so not just engaging in their content, but getting inspiration from it. What are people talking about? What are questions that they're answering? What pain points are they highlighting? So that's where you're looking to, probably other realtors, loan officers, brokers, other people in your industry that are talking to your audience. What are they saying to that audience? What are they helping that audience with? Because if they're helping your audience, you also need to be helping your audience, right? So make sure that while you're looking through any sort of social media, anytime you're scrolling, make sure that in that intentional time frame, you are looking for inspiration for what you should be talking about or what other I try not to tell people don't get hooked on trends per se, but do look for what's trending as far as subjects go, or content styles, because that will help you reach more people. It'll help you help more people, and it'll help your content grow, and it'll expand your reach. Because if it's working for someone else that's talking to your audience, it will work for you when you're talking to your audience, right? So, any questions? I know that's a mouthful. I know that I talk too much. So please let me know, what do you guys think so far? Do you have any questions? You can put them in the comments, or just come off mute. Interrupt me at any point during all of this. Feel free to just jump in and ask a question so you don't lose it. Because if you have a question, I guarantee somebody else does. So anything so far? Any comments or anything you guys want to take a look at a little bit deeper? That just know that I am okay with comfortable silences. So I will sit here and I will wait for somebody to ask me a question. I do this way too much to just say,
What
okay,
are
well,
some
let's go.
what are some ways for you to grow your audience
Yeah. So
if
be more
you
specific. What do you mean?
don't necessarily if
Grow
if
your
you
audience?
don't
Like,
have a if you don't have like a mass, base audience on social media, what are some ways outside of just like friend requesting any and everybody, or if that makes sense, just some
right. No,
smarter
that,
ways to
that,
kind of grow?
it does. That does make sense. Actually, let me ask you one thing really quick. What is your preferred platform? What do you use most?
I'm ancient. I'm Facebook.
No, so you're not ancient. Actually, basically everybody in our industry starts with Facebook. So that is it. That's kind of what I expected. One thing that I would suggest doing is there's two ways to do it. You can do organic, or you can do paid. It's just like leads. You can do organic leads or paid leads. Same thing on social media. You can run ads, and you have to do that through your business page. Your business, so you guys know, your business page is basically useless outside of running ads. So if you're putting a lot of time into your business page, please stop. Put it in your personal page. Make your profile a creator profile. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But be be very careful about using too much of your business page, because it's just Facebook a couple of years ago said nobody likes them, nobody watches anything from it. We're just not going to push it. We're not going to put any of that out into anybody's space unless they pay for it. If they do an ad, then we'll send them, but that's it. Um, so with Facebook, what I would suggest doing, because Facebook honestly is less about content than it is about connection, more so than the others. They're all about content and connection together, but with Facebook specifically, I would spend a lot of time in specific groups, and working with your current sphere of influence on there. So if you have someone that you have friend request or that you are friends with on Facebook, and you have a connection with them somehow, whether that's a previous client, or somebody that you've been trying to work with, or someone that's interested, whoever it is, stay connected with them by commenting on their content. So going through their info specifically and commenting on their stuff, or saying, "Oh, hey, that just happened to me." Or if you can, if you're comfortable with it and if it's appropriate, send them a DM. Stay in Facebook, because Facebook likes that. They really want people using Messenger. So if you use Messenger, um, do that to stay connected with your sphere of influence. And send them a message saying, "Oh, hey, that happened to me. I appreciate you talking about it." Or, "Hey, congratulations on the new grandkid," or whatever it is, right? Like, talk to them in Facebook, and make it personal. And that's a really good way to stay connected with your client base. A good way to grow it is to get into groups very specific groups for your area and become a valuable resource in that group. So don't become the realtor of the group. Everybody hates that because the realtor of the group is like spamming everyone all the time. Oh, hey, I'm here to help you if you want to buy a house or if you're selling. Like, please don't do that. Like, go in. And I have a realtor that I work with in the Charlotte market, and she built her entire business. She has closed one deal a week for the last 5 years. Like, it's insane. She does an amazing amount of business, and it is almost completely because she went into groups. She started groups. She runs like 7 Facebook groups. She's crazy. But she started by going into these groups, and not just real estate, but mom groups. She's kind of new agey, so she did some of the new age groups. Anything that you are connected with on a personal basis, or that you are that you're really into, whatever it is, hobbies, sports, like I don't care what it is, find a local one, get into that group, and then just start answering questions, and then just start being of value uh, in that group. And find what people's needs are, find what you can help with, and it will naturally come out that you are in the industry, right? And you can bring that up if you start these conversations with people within those groups, because then they're comfortable talking to you. You're not just cold calling them, or you're not cold DMing them. You're saying, "Hey, I saw that you were asking about this, and here's what I did, or here's how it worked for me." Then that's a great chance to friend request them, right? And now you can follow up consistently with them, and you can be watching what they do outside of that group and continue to connect with them on a regular basis. And now when you are connecting with them, guess what the algorithm is going to do? It's going to send them more of your content. And if you're doing content that's about your real estate business, they're going to say, "Oh, I didn't know Megan was a realtor. That's cool. She helped me with this. Well, now I know that she's a realtor, so she's my go-to." Automatically top of mind. Okay. If you help them in a way that is outside of like trying to sell them something, you're automatically top of mind when it comes to, I need a realtor, or my friend needs a realtor, or somebody has a question about the market. Now you're the go-to. So think of it that way. I hope that's helpful. If you have follow-up questions, let me know. But I think that is one of the best ways, specifically on Facebook, to be able to grow. Oh, and Megan, you asked what her name was. This is Robin Mann, Mann. She's really great. If you guys want to find her on Facebook, she runs the group Agents Helping Agents. Um, and it's like the abbreviation is AHA, AHA. Awesome group, tons of value. Realtors from all over the country are in there. So look up Robin Mann, Mann, and she is just phenomenal. And she does this coaching. She's got a group, and if you want to know more about what she does, let me know. I'll get you hooked up with her. But any other questions, specifically on any of this on the be intentional side of things? We're gonna get into more details, but anything so far? All right. So let's jump into be yourself. That's our second pillar. Um, a lot of you know the term fake it till you make it. Um, don't do that on social, okay? At least not with who you are. Fake that you like being on camera. Yes, do that. Fake that till you make it. But don't be a pretend person. Don't try to create some persona that isn't natural for you. You're gonna highlight certain things about your personality, and it's gonna feel like you are kind of pushing that side of your personality a little too much. That part is okay. There's ways of doing that, and we're not going to get into that. That's pretty high level stuff, but um, that side of it's all right. But what you need to not do is feel like you have to pretend to be somebody that you're not, because that is never going to work, right? if if you were if you're dating somebody, right? Or if you're not even dating, but if you're thinking about dating somebody and you meet them online, right? Like you hear about them and somebody introduces you, through Facebook or whatever, and you guys have a conversation. or if have a phone call with them and they tell you all of this about themselves, and they love to travel, and they have this job and they do this and they just whatever it is. And then you actually go on a date with them and you sit down, and the picture from their profile looks nothing like the person sitting in front of you. And they don't like to travel, and they don't they're in they lied a little bit about what their job was or what they do or whatever. That's called catfishing, right? You ever heard that term? That's being somebody else and pretending that you're someone else to get the date with someone, and then pulling the old switcheroo on them, right? You can't. It's the same thing in your social media presence, right? You can't pretend to be somebody else and then expect that when they want to work with you, you act like your real self. All of a sudden they're going to be like, who is this? This does not sound like the person um that I was talking to before. Like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't look like their content. This doesn't look like their style. So be yourself, and you're going to attract the right people. You're going to attract the people that actually want to do business with you, not just any and everybody that likes this other creator that you're mimicking or whatever. So be very careful not to be fake, because it will hurt your business more than it will help it. Okay. So be whoever it is that you are. Um, and we'll get into some details on how that works. But make sure that you understand that you need to be 100% authentic, because social media is, especially right now, it is all about authenticity. It is all about being your actual, real, true self. Because anything else, fake is just bad. Fake is just, it's nothing but bad. Anybody, I wasn't going to talk about this, but anybody hear of the term brat summer? It's a thing with Charlie XCX, and it's a whole thing. It essentially means be who you actually are. Be yourself, however freaking crazy you are. It doesn't matter. Be your actual self. And if not, then nobody's going to want to deal with you. You're canceled, right? Be yourself or get canceled. And you don't want that on social media. Okay. So be very intentional on who you are presenting yourself as. Okay. Um, and you don't need to try to keep up. And we talked about this, but be real, be your actual self. Do not feel like you need to look like everyone does on $1 million lists. Like, look at this. Look at like the fillers and the plastic jawline. Like, just don't don't bother. Okay. Nobody expects you to look like this. Nobody wants you to look like this. If you're in LA and you're selling $1 million homes, yeah, maybe you probably do have to look like this because Bravo ruined it for everybody. But anywhere else, don't bother. Okay. Just be who you are, and you will connect with the people that you want to connect with. Like, just, I don't know. None of this. None of this. Nope. Unless this is actually who you are. If you are the fillers and you are the high end, like the hair's always done and you're just perfect everywhere that you go, do it, live it up, and be successful with it. I'm not saying that this necessarily is bad. Pretending to be this is bad. Being this, great, love it. Get yourself on Bravo too. Like, just do it all the way up. Okay. So whatever your real self is, be that. Don't try and keep up with somebody else. Um, and then because the whole goal is you are making friends on social media, not just Facebook friends, not just Instagram followers. You are making friends that also know that you're a realtor, right? Like, that's the goal. You want them to like you, and then also secondarily real know that you are their go-to person for anything real estate. They want to learn from you, they want value from you. You've got to give them something first to want to connect with you. But that's how you're going to stay top of mind, because they know you and they know your style and they like who you are. And that's what's going to make them want to reach out to you when it's time, or that's what's going to make them want to talk to you when you reach out to them and say, hey, I saw that you have been commenting on some of my content. I'm glad that you love it. If you ever have questions, let me know. That is a natural progression into a deepening relationship. Okay. Um, because the goal is to get them off of social media, right? You don't do deals on social media. They're not signing contracts through TikTok, right? You've got to get them off of social media so that you can do business with them. And so, if they feel like they know you, and even better, if they feel like you're a little bit of a celebrity, they're gonna love that you reached out to them. Okay, like that's, and I'm telling you right now, the more that you're on social, even if you are not good at it, it really doesn't matter. You do not have to be good at the content to be effective on social media. It's actually endearing if you're not very good at it, and if your editing's a little bit off, or if you stumble on your words, or if you're nervous like that. People absolutely love it. They absolutely love that. So do not let that stop you. Be real. Get them to know the real you and give them kind of a sneak peek of what it's like to work with you, and let them make a friend before you even know their name. Okay, that's the goal. Any questions on what I've covered so far on the be yourself? Does that make anybody nervous to like go and just be your 100% totally crazy self? I don't know if you've seen any of my content, but I am very much myself, and um, I'm very sarcastic. I talk too much. I cuss a lot. Hopefully that doesn't offend anyone. I'll try not to on this call. But if that's you, then be you and do it, and it will work for you. So anybody have questions on being yourself, or how that works, or what that looks like? Again, we can sit here with dead air.
I do
Otherwise, I'm
have a
going to go too
question.
fast. Go ahead,
Can you
Fred.
hear
Yeah.
me? I do have a question. Yep. So, starting out, would you recommend more messaging or would you recommend just going into videos or a mixture of both?
That's a good question. I do think video is super important. That's what I do. I don't honestly do a lot of graphics. I don't do a lot of pictures. Um, when it's personal stuff, sometimes I'll do pictures of, kids or whatever. I do think that video is extremely important. You absolutely have to, um, you absolutely have to do it. If you haven't started yet, start now. If you don't start now, it's going to be harder to start once it's even more important soon. Um, uh, so yeah, I think you should have a mix though. It really depends on what platform you're going to spend the most time on. If it's Facebook, you can do a lot of like the still content. People still read on Facebook. People still sit there and they'll look at pictures and things like that. You get to Instagram, you need to start doing some reels. You can get away with posts here and there to nurture your audience. And then higher level, you get to TikTok. You can't even post still stuff. It has to be video, right? So I think having a mix is good depending on where you're at, but getting on video is really important. Does that answer the question? I hope I didn't get off a tangent there.
No, it does. It does. I
Okay.
think I think a lot of people get nervous on video.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely. And if we had more time, maybe, maybe I'll talk to Chad. Maybe we can do like a content class. But there is a method to getting comfortable on camera. And there's a few ways that we can look at doing that. But what I tell people is just get on there and do it. Like, please don't be perfect. Perfect is a bad word. That's a four-letter word when it comes to social media. I am guilty of it. It's hard for me because I just want everything to be edited just perfectly and everything's got to be just so. That is not a good thing. That is not what you want on social. It makes it feel less authentic. It makes it feel less real. So just get on there and talk, and you're automatically better than like 95% of everyone else that's out there competing against you. And the other 5%, you do it for a month and you just get on video and you just do it regularly for a month, you're better than now you're at like 98%. Okay. So it doesn't take a whole lot to stand out, and you don't have to be perfect to stand out. You just have to go on there and just try it and film something. Sometimes I tell people this is we won't spend too much time on this, but you see how I'm talking to the camera right here? This is what scares people is talking directly one on one to something that doesn't exist, right? There are no eyeballs. I'm not looking at a face, nothing. Um, if it helps, pretend that someone else is filming you and just turn. Talk to someone else. Talk to your friend. Talk to your spouse. Talk to your freaking dog. I don't care what you talk to, but whatever you're going to talk about, um, talk this way, right? And then just let it film you from here. So now it doesn't feel like I'm, talking to the camera or talking to myself. It feels like I'm having a conversation with someone naturally. So try that. That sometimes is a really good way to kind of break the ice and get used to being on camera. Um, but then eventually that's going to be annoying for you, and you're just going to turn and you're just going to shoot it, and you're going to be like, just screw it, and and then you won't want to edit. It'll be too much work, and then you'll post it, and everyone will love it. I can tell you right now, you are not going to have anybody that you actually know. You might get some trolls. Trolls are a good thing. Don't worry about them. But you're everybody that you know is going to be like, I saw you did that video. That was really good. And you're going to think to yourself, I thought it sucked. I thought it was terrible, but you're going to say, "Oh, thanks. Great. I appreciate it." Whatever. So definitely just get out there and try it. And it's like riding a bike. Like you just got to fall off a couple of times. You got to scrape your knee up, and then you just got to get back on until it's natural. And then you just do it forever. And you won't be camera shy anymore. You won't have the patience for camera shyness. You'll just do it and get it over with.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Let's see. I'm just looking through the comments here. Hard to keep up a facade. It really is. If you, I tell anybody have a teenager that lies. Oh my gosh, my son. I tell him all the time, you're not good at lying, buddy. You got to stop doing it because you forget what you told people, and then you tell someone something else, and then it took him years to figure this out. And it's the same thing on social media. Do not lie to your audience. Do not pretend because you won't be able to keep it up. And if you do keep it up, you're gonna hate yourself because you're gonna be exhausted and you're not gonna remember which person you need to be ever. So don't bother lying to your audience. Just be who you are, so you don't have to deal with all that. Um, Heather, you said sarcasm's your second language. Then absolutely be sarcastic on there because my guess is that some of your best friends are also sarcastic, right? The people that you like to spend the most time around are probably sarcastic, right? At least they appreciate your sarcasm. That's who you want your audience to be. That's who you're going to connect with on social media. So be that person and then just talk about your business that way. Talk about real estate. Talk about make sarcastic jokes, make memes that make fun of the industry. Like whatever it is that you're into, do that and make that your persona on social media because it's your persona in real life, right? Make the content that you think is funny, that you think is informative, and give it your spin. Like make it you when you create it. So any other questions real quick before we move on? All right. And oh, I didn't mention this. I kind of did before but it's a whole slide by itself. It is social media, social first. Um, it is not a place for you to simply just dump whatever content comes to your mind. And do that. Like that's fine. More content, more better. But make sure that you're being social in it. Make sure that you are being again. That's the intentional side of it. You are connecting with people. Think of it not as a media tool, but as a connection tool, as a relationship tool. That's the power of social media. Um, if you want to do just media, run ads and get paid to run other people's ads. Okay, that's the media side. Fine, do that if that's your thing, then do it. If you're a realtor, be a realtor, be social. That's your job anyways, right? Your job is to create relationships with your clients. You know their names, you know their parents' names, you know their kids' names, you know what schools they go to. You might have picked them up from soccer practice at some point. You know their dog's name, you know everything about these people. So take that skill that you guys already have in developing relationships and just do it in social media. Take that knowledge and that practice that you've already got and make it something that you can transfer over to your electronic profile, as it were, right? So be thinking of it as a social tool more so than just this is just me, making perfect videos and sending them out, and then I get a 100,000 likes and then everybody loves me, right? That's not how it works. That's not how you get business from it. There are plenty of people that are creators that have 1 million followers that make nothing. They don't make anything. They don't sell anything. They don't have relationships with people. They do get nothing out of it. Okay, so be very careful about getting too sucked into the media side of it. Make it social. Keep it social. All right. And then of course be consistent. And this is super important because if you are a creator that just kind of pops something out there every once in a while, and then that's it, and then then you've got content out there, and then you don't think about it again, they're not going to think about you again. Okay, it needs to be a strategy. It needs to be a brand that you're creating, not just this post and ghost. That's not even a strategy. It's a non-strategy. So think of yourself as a strategic brand that you're creating and that you're continuing for yourself, rather than as I'm going to keep up with social media. I'm going to get to it when I have free time. When the hell do we ever have free time, right? Like that is not something that happens in this business. If you have free time, it's because you're not doing enough, right? Like don't just wait for free time. Make it, like I said, set time, set a schedule, make it part of your business, and make a strategy out of it, right? Like make that part of what you do. And then something else that I really think is helpful that enough people do not do, um, or not enough people do, uh, is the buddy system. You guys really you're missing an opportunity if you have another coworker, a realtor, a lender that you work with a lot, an insurance agent that likes working with you, or so that's on social media. Whatever it is, find somebody to do social media with. Like we always work better together. Anybody ever set a schedule for going to the gym and then never follow up on it because you didn't have somebody that was holding you accountable or going with you? Just me. Nobody else has ever done that. I guarantee you have. So and that's a great way to think of it, is it's like going to the gym. If you're doing it by yourself, kudos to you if you can do it, but it takes an incredible amount of discipline, especially early on, to do that. So think of social media the same way. I don't care if you guys create the same content. Take my free content calendar that I'm going to start sending you, make the same videos, script it out, make the same script. I don't care. You guys do not, there is almost no chance that two people are going to see the same video, even if you have the same follower. They're probably not going to see the same. It's like a 1 in 50 chance they're going to see the same video from both of you. And even if they do, they're either going to think they're either going to not notice. They're not even going to know it's the same because your styles are going to be different and they won't even know you're talking about the same thing. Or they will notice and they'll think, oh, this is a trending topic. I need to be paying attention. Right. So just, I don't care how many of you, two, three, five of you all doing the same content and holding yourselves accountable, posting consistently, making content consistently. It gives you the opportunity to riff off each other and talk to each other about ideas and what works and what doesn't work, and just try new things. And it just gives you guys the opportunity to hold each other accountable to a level that you really can't do yourself. So try that. Set a schedule and stick to it. Make something that's consistent that you can stick to, whether it's a certain time of day that you're on your social. If you are creating block content over the weekend, and you're just doing it all like the whole next week's worth of content all at once. Um, whether it's I'm going to be on multiple times a day, but I'm only going to stay on for 10 minutes each time. Whatever it is, pick your schedule with your buddy and make a routine that you're actually going to follow and make it part of your, like I said, part of your business. Make it a regular part of your day, and don't let up. Just keep doing it until it stops working, and then try something else. And if you can't stick to it, change it until you can. So I think having that consistency is extremely important for the algorithm, important for your audience to be able to keep seeing you. And it's important for you to, the more you stay consistent, the easier it is to stay consistent, right? It becomes a habit. If you work out for a long time, you start a workout routine and you do it for 6 months, you start skipping it, you're going to feel it, right? You're going to feel the difference. You're going to be like, I have got to get back into the gym, right? And it's the same thing with social media. A lot of people will post for a consistent, couple of weeks, and then they'll get busy. They'll get people asking them questions and stuff. And they're like, oh, this is going great. And then they'll stop, right? They'll run out of time. They won't be consistent. And then it drops back down. It's like, oh, well, great. Now I got to start from scratch again. It's like taking medicine. You stop too early, it stops working, right? You think, oh, well, I'm better, I don't have to take it anymore, and then it comes right back, right? So be mindful of your consistency and find that schedule, find that routine that's going to work for you. And then don't quit. You're building a cruise ship, right? If we were all building duct tape boats and that was going to get us across the ocean, we could all build a boat and we could start sailing like Columbus right now, right? That is not what we're doing. We are building something much bigger, something that will last a lot longer. So it's going to take time. You're going to have to be consistent for a while before you really start seeing the fruits of it. This isn't something that you can do for a week and you're automatically going to get business. It's going to take some time. You're going to have to keep doing it, because what you're doing is you're not getting leads of people that are, you're not reaching only people that are looking for houses, right? Or that are selling, or that know people that are. You're reaching just a broad section of people, especially at first, and you're cultivating that audience, right? You've got to create that audience from the ground up and let them know who you are, what you do, who you help, and how you help them, right? And so by doing that in content form, they're not most of your audience isn't going to be ready to do anything right away, right? So you're going to have to build that up, and then once they are ready, will have seen a lot of your content. They'll see your consistency, and then they'll think, oh, Ryan is that's my guy. That's who I need. That's who I need to go through, because I keep seeing his consistent content talking about, you know, real estate or new homes or whatever he's talking about. That's my guy. That's my go-to. So now you're top of mind for that audience, but you can't tell them when it's time to buy a house or when it's time to sell. They'll know and they'll reach out, or you'll just happen to do the right content at the right time, and they'll comment on there and they'll say, "What about this?" And then you start a conversation with them, right? So it's not something that is just, you're not just automatically getting people from day one, right? So be consistent. Don't give up. Keep trying. And if you really feel like it's not working, reach out to me, and then we'll look at it from there. So something that I want to go through with you guys really quickly, and we've got about 30 minutes left. Is I want to take you through a couple of the tools that I've sent to you guys, but I'll resend, that you can use to really build up your social profile and kind of get off to a really good start. So one of those is the social media audit. And this is really important because it gives you the opportunity to look through your social media profile, and really get an idea for what your goal is, what you want to do, who you want to get in front of, and how you want to get in front of them. And so this will help you. This will help you with kind of setting that up and getting the stage ready for you to be able to start doing that. So this, I am going to need a volunteer because I am going to do a very quick audit of somebody. Whoever wants a free audit, I usually charge for this. It's usually pretty expensive, actually. So if somebody wants a free one, let's see. I think I just saw Ryan's hand go up. So
I
awesome. All
will.
right. So I'm gonna look you up on Facebook. Can you guys see this? Are you guys seeing the canvas sheet that I've got scrolling up and down here?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm gonna switch over to
But when I will
Facebook.
say Facebook is like an Instagram and everything just feeds to Facebook.
Oh, it just feeds it. Okay, so let's use your Insta then.
Okay. I actually just followed you, so
No, that's perfect, and
that's
it's better to
better.
do that with whoever you are spending more time, or wherever you're spending more time. That's what you want to do. So let's find Ryan De Leon. There you are. All right. I'm gonna follow you. Let's see what we've got in here. We've got some memes. You're doing video. That's good. All right. This is good. Oh, and you used this one. This one's hilarious. That's smart. Okay. It looks like you've actually got a pretty good start so far. So let's take a look at the audit and let's see where we're at with this. Okay. So let's start with your profile picture. All right. So this is pretty good. This is a headshot. I'm gonna start putting some checks in here for you. It's of you. Okay. So there is not, you would be surprised how many people do not have their profile pictures of themselves. Okay. Very important to make sure that it is you that they are seeing, because when they are seeing you in the like if they're seeing your content, they want to know who it is that is making this and who it is that they're talking to. Right. So that's good. It's close up, right? That's good. You want to be able to see your eyes. It's there's a lot of psychology behind that, but they've done tests on people, and the ones that they react to the most, the profile pictures they react to most, are the ones where you can see their eyes clearly, right? So it needs to be close up enough that they are seeing those little windows into the soul, and it really does work well. Um, does it feel connective? Do I feel like I'm connected to you? I do, because this feels very natural. I try to steer people away from like that standard headshot. With you're leaning this way and you're leaning forward and you're like right. It's a little too you don't want to be too professional with it. You still want to be professional. You don't want it to be way too out there, but you do want it to feel inviting. So I think you got all checks on this one. So very nicely done. That looks really good. Um, and then if we were in Facebook, we would go and do your cover photo. That's the background photo on your profile. We don't have to necessarily do this, but do be thinking about these. Um, it can be personal or it can be professional, but you want to make sure you've got contact info in there. You want to talk about what you do. Make sure people know you're a realtor. You want it to be inviting, so you can change the themes based on the season. I think that's a really smart way to do it. Go in Canva and just make it up. Um, and then make sure that you've got a consistent style. So if there's a certain brand colors that you use, make sure you have that in your cover photo. Have something personal in there, or just have another picture of you, whatever it is that kind of suits your style. Make sure that you're putting these elements into it. Okay. Um, Now, consistency in your posts. We're not gonna run through your feed too much, but it looks good. Oh, I recognize this. I made that. This looks good. It looks like you've got pretty good consistency on your posting. You've got consistency in your engagement. I think this looks pretty good. Let's see. Looks like this one is a reel, or not a reel. I'm sorry, a carousel. I like that. No, this is good. And it can be this simple, guys. It doesn't have to be super complex. But you've got good information here in your description section. This is for a drawing for Starbucks. This is cool. I like this. So you've got you've got some good hashtags in here. You've got the areas that you serve. I really like it. So that's good. You've got reels up here. We can switch to reels and we can kind of see you've got some consistency there, good view count. Yeah, this is good. This one's real good. That one did really well. I like this. You're doing a good job with it. I can tell that you are doing these in blocks because you've got the same shirt on, so that's good. That's smart. That just means that you're using your time wisely. So this is great. This is exactly what you want to see. So I'm checking some boxes. Whoops, wrong one. Yeah, I'm checking boxes on that. You've got consistency. You've got a good variety of different types of. Oh, sorry, we're doing IG. Uh, you've got a good variety of different types of content. You've got reels. You're doing video, so that's not something that everybody can say. Um, Three B's. Okay, I told you I wasn't going to cuss. I'm sorry. I'm going to cuss. The three B's that you want to remember in your content are business, babies, and bullshit. Okay, so you want it to be fairly even thirds of that. It doesn't have to be exact, but you want to be consistent in doing all of those. Business, you want to talk about your business. You want to make sure people know that you're in real estate and that they want to work with you, right? Babies, that's just your personal life, right? You want to invite them, not too much. Don't get too into it. They don't want to hear all your drama. No, we don't need any of that. But they do want to hear about, vacations. They want to hear about your kids. They want to see what they're up to. They want to see what you're doing in your free time. If you're in a bowling league and you won the championship, share it. Like talk about it. Like let people congratulate you on the things that you're doing in your life. So that's babies, and bullshit is just make them laugh. Put something entertaining in there. Use a meme that you thought was funny. Steal something from the broke agent. Like whatever it is, just go in there and just give something entertaining, something interesting, something for them to comment on that is outside of the sphere of your business, right? Because if you're all business all the time, people are going to get sick of your content. They're not going to want to watch it anymore, and they're going to move along because they do not care that much about real estate, right? So give them something to stay connected with you, and that's part of the whole being yourself thing. Like that's a big part of it. Okay, so that's really good. Engagement. This is where you have to dig a little bit more into your analytics, and this were something that you're doing on your own or we're doing it together. We're going to dig into that. I do have a program that cheats for me that can see some of, oh, it was working a second ago and now it's not. That's too bad. um it was showing some of your metrics. Oh, but it died. Oh well. It did look pretty good though. You have a pretty decent like count. You've got pretty decent engagement rate. 1 or 2% is honestly pretty good. It doesn't sound very good, but that's pretty good as far as social media goes. So that's something that you want to track regularly throughout. On a regular basis, weekly or every other week or something. Just kind of see how your content's doing. Um, Value is something else that we get into a little bit more, but the idea there is you want to know by watching three videos. That's the three post rule. I want to be able to look at three of your posts, and I want to know who you are and what you're about. Okay, that's your goal. Is you want to know the creator within three pieces of content. And so you want to know the niche. You want to know what kind of value that you're giving to your followers. You want to connect with them on a regular basis. You want to make them feel connected to you. And you want them to know that you have expertise in your field. And you've got to pack all of that in within three pieces of content. Any three, like at all times, you need to be having that kind of consistency in your content where you are giving this information in one or all of those three, right? So if you want them to connect with you, that's a personal post. If you want them to know your expertise, you're talking about real estate. If you want to know, If you want them to know your niche, what your niche is, you're talking about new construction, right? Very specific real estate, right? So make sure that you are adding that value on a regular basis so that you're checking these boxes off in your content. Um, and real quick, this is a really good way to stay on top of your bio. You want to know who you are, what you do, who you do it for, where you do it, how to contact you, and is it searchable? So we can do that really fast. Um, you're a new home sales agent. Okay, new homes, sales agent, that means you're in real estate, right? And you've got the little picture of the house. And so I'm like, okay, that means you're a realtor, right? I know that automatically. And that you do new home, like you're specifically in new home construction. So I know your niche. You're in Nashville, Tennessee. Beautiful. I know how to contact you. And this is great because that's your searchability right there, right? That's so I think you checked all of them off. Let me see if we missed something. Where, who, what you do. No, I think you basically got it all. You only have in Instagram, I think you have 150 characters to work with, so not a whole lot. You don't have a lot to work with there. But the more info that you can put in here, the better. Um, and and that way you can kind of show your audience who you are and what you do um, just from the first video that they see and they go to your profile. You want them to know exactly who you are and why you're there and what you can do for them. Okay, so honestly, that's one of the best audits that because I won't put the checks there, but I'll you got them. Okay, you basically got everything. So your profile looks really good. Your content looks really good. I think you've gotten that in a really good spot. The only thing that I think we could still do is let's play around with your audience, and we only have a couple of minutes, but when you guys are thinking about an audience, I want you to get very specific. Okay. So, Ryan, I'm going to venture to guess that you want to work with home buyers that are interested in new construction, right?
Throw a plot twist on you. I
Ooh,
target realtors with buyers looking at homes.
ooh, that's good. Okay. Realtors with new construction buyers. And I'm going to have to get rid of some of this. Okay, realtors with new construction buyers. That's good. That's pretty specific. Um, let's see. In what price range?
Oh, that's a good call.
That's a hard one, right? That's you got to be thinking. Are we talking $1 million houses, or what's kind of your what? Where are you looking at?
3 to 500,000, I guess.
Okay, in the 3 to 500K range. Now, are these what kind of buyers are these? Are these first time buyers? Are these move up buyers? What do you who do you like to work with? This is like your perfect person. Like they don't exist, okay? They don't have to exist, but who's perfect?
I love a good first time home buyer.
Okay, we're with whoops, first time home buyers, right? In the 3 to 500,000 dollar range. Now, this is where it gets weird. What do they like? What are they into that you are also into? Like I did one of these once with a realtor before, and we found out that she likes to work with, I think it was new construction VA buyers who like to sing just randomly, just sing everywhere through their house because that's what she does. She walks through houses and she's showing them off to people and she's just singing, just singing random stuff everywhere she goes. And so I'm like, then that's your person, somebody that likes to sing. So what's your thing?
Who loves to laugh and
Mm.
or doom scroll
Who loves to laugh? What? Sorry, it cut out.
and or doom scroll.
And doom scroll.
I
Okay, who likes who likes a comedy doom scroll?
Yes.
Right? That's me too. Okay, we'll get along just fine because that is my favorite. My entire feed if I let it get out of control, it'll be nothing but jokes all the time forever. Like it's bad. So that's it. So your audience is now realtors with new construction, first time home buyers in the $300,000 to $500,000 range who like a comedy doom scroll, right? That is a specific audience. Okay. So when you make content, be thinking of that person and does it speak to that particular clientele? If it does, great. If it doesn't, either rethink and think, okay, am I trying to reach a different audience, and that's fine, or does this just am I just doing this for myself and I'm not actually going to add any value to anyone? And if that's the case, that's fine. Like you can still post it, but know that your content on it like generally needs to be guided toward this audience because that's who you can be your most yourself with, and that's the person that's going to like you for who you are, not just because of what you talk about or what what other value you can add. This is your go-to person right here. So that's it. That's be thinking about that. I'll send you the bill for this later. I'm just kidding. No, that was fun. I appreciate you being a good sport and doing that with me. Sometimes people are a little nervous of getting audited, in real time. But you really do have a good profile. It sounds like you're doing things the right way, and it's just a matter of being consistent and maybe even fine tuning that audience a bit and just getting in front of more people. So I love it.
Yeah, because how do I get a decimal in my follower count?
Oh man,
For real.
that it takes
Hey.
it's a lot of content. Just keep pushing content. Just keep doing more. Pay attention to what is working. Go through your old content and see what works, and just hit that really hard. Do more of it, and just really pound that type of content that people are connecting with because you're onto something there, right? There's something that works, and it's funny because one of the things that I realized as I was doing this is um, one of the things that works really well for me is green screen uh, home walkthrough rants, right? Like for whatever reason, I will take screenshots of Zillow and I'll put them behind me in a green screen and I'll just talk about, I'll make fun of them. And I just pick the craziest ones I can find and I'll go through and I'll make fun of it. And they always do well. I don't know why, but it's just for whatever reason, my sarcasm and my jokes and whatever that I think is funny, other people think's funny, and so they do really well. So pay attention to what works and just do more of it, and you'll gain followers. I'll tell you right now, Instagram is a tough one. It's a tough nut to crack. It is hard to really grow your following very quickly on there, but you stay consistent and it'll happen. And even if it's not a huge following, the people that love you are going to love you a lot. So it'll work for you.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right. So let me jump back in here and we're just going to go to the next one where we're just going to talk really quickly about these. This is the subject series planner and epic content calendar that you guys are going to be able to use to really create a high level social media profile and a consistent content stream and in just an hour a day. It only takes an hour a day to do this. So you don't have to feel like you've got to be on it all day, every day, and just going crazy. You can have everything done, all of it that you need in just an hour. You pick your time and you just make it happen. So let me open this up. I'm gonna stop this share and I'm gonna share a different one really quick so that you guys can see this. All right. So can everybody see my Excel sheet here? All right, so you guys got a copy of this. And what this is called the Subject Series Planner. And actually, I'm going to start here. I'm going to start with the Epic Content Calendar. Epic stands for engagement, post, ideation or planning, and create. Okay, and what that means is you're going to spend this much time on each one of these. You're going to spend 20 minutes on engagement. Okay, you start there. You do the 10-10-10 method. That means 10 minutes on a platform, 10 likes, and 10 valuable comments. And the people that are really good at this add another 10. They do 10 DMs. All right. That usually takes maybe 15-20 minutes. Okay. So that takes a little more time, but at least do 10 likes, um, 10 valuable comments. That means 5 words or more, answering a question or doing something valuable, and do that within 10 minutes. Do that with 2 profiles. Okay. So you're doing very intentional scrolling. You're looking for your audience. You're looking for pain points that they have. You're looking for what other creators are doing. Um, and then you go into your groups in the comment sections, give advice, give value, make connections, add to the conversation. Okay. And then answer comments from your old posts, and save content when you find something that you like. Don't create anything right there. Don't stop what you're doing. Just save it and then come back to it later. Okay. Whether that's in a note, if it's just save it on it, hit the save button on Instagram, go back to it later, whatever it is, save that for yourself so that you can go back and think, oh, that's what I was gonna do. I'm gonna create a video about this or whatever. Um, then you've got 5 minutes to post a piece of content. Okay. Now we didn't make any content, right? We didn't do anything yet. You're posting content that you created last week. Okay. So anything that you create this week, you're going to post next week, right? So you're taking 5 minutes, you're going and however you're organizing, you put this in Google Drive, you put it in a particular folder in your phone, whatever you are doing, go in there, find that post, find that video or whatever it is, and post it. You've got 5 minutes. Do it on all your platforms. It doesn't take much time. Or even better, go in and schedule your post for the next day, or schedule it out. Whatever you want to do, get your post set up. Okay. Then, and the reason we're doing it this way is because when you engage in your platform and then post, it's signaling to the algorithm this is someone that's active, they're consuming, which is what we want. We're going to send more people to their content. Okay, so that's why you want to engage. You want to scroll first and then immediately post right after. It's almost like a wake up call to your algorithm, and it will push your content farther. Okay, so do these in order, and then after you post, go in and just do 20 minutes of planning, 20 minutes of ideation. Ideation means brainstorming, writing a script, writing your description section, coming up with ideas. It's a lot of writing. Okay, you're not filming anything right now. You're just coming up with ideas for a piece of content. And this might not even take 20 minutes. This might be like, oh, I saw a really funny meme and I want to use that, next week, on Friday or whatever. Go in and come up with how you want to do it, and that might take 5 minutes, and then you're done. But spend 20 minutes coming up with ideas for your content. Okay. Then spend the next 20 minutes creating a piece of content, and not necessarily, this one, but maybe something that you came up with a couple days ago or something. Or if you're really flowing through it, just whatever you just thought of, now spend 20 minutes to go and create it. You spent the time thinking it out. You wrote your script. You know exactly what you want to say. Now spend 20 minutes going in there. If you're scripted, this should take less than 3 minutes to film, right? You're just reading through your script. And in another class, I'll show you guys how to do teleprompters and stuff like that. But go in there and create the video, or whatever it is. If it's a still piece, go in Canva and create the graphic, and do everything. Film it, edit it, get it ready for posting. You've already got your copy here. If you didn't write enough description section here, write that. Get everything done, get everything ready to go, and ready to post, and then just save it, and then just let it sit, because now you're going to post that next week. You made it this week, but you're going to post it next week. Okay. So then let it sit, and then you don't have to do anything. And that's your hour. That's it. Technically, it's an hour and 5 minutes. Okay. So don't kill me on the numbers there. But then you're done. And that's it. And you don't have to go back to social the rest of the day if you don't want to. You did that, all of that, say at 8 a.m., 7 a.m. You got started early. You did it at, I don't care when it is. It can be 10 o'clock at night. It really doesn't matter. If a piece of content is good, it's going to do well no matter when you post it. Okay. The most important thing is engaging first, posting. Now that you have been engaging with other creators, and you've got all these fresh ideas in your head, go in there and make some of them. make these ideas, okay, while it's still fresh. Don't try and come back to it later. You're going to forget what the hell you were thinking. Then, while it's fresh and you just, created the idea, just make it. Just now go in and just film it. You're already all warmed up. Just get it over with, film it, edit it, be done with it. Or just film it and edit later while you're sitting there watching TV, later that night. Like just, figure out whatever your schedule and whatever your timeline is and do that. One more thing, and this is going to help you with this create section and ideation part. Okay. This is your series planner. Sometimes we will get it in our head that we have to reinvent the wheel every single time we want to create a post, right? Every time we want to make something, we've got to create a brand new idea in our head, right? Not the case. Okay. I'm going to show you guys how to come up with multiple pieces of content from one single idea that you can then go in here and create this whole week. You don't even have to think of new stuff. You already thought of it. You just spent 5 minutes one day going in and making it. Okay. So here's what that looks like. Somebody just throw something out. Give me a real estate subject of something you want to talk about. Anything at all.
Inspections.
Beautiful. Inspections. Like I said, that is very good content. So that's a good one. Who's your audience with an inspection?
New home buyers.
Yeah, new home buyers. Even move up buyers, but generally home buyers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, what is a pain point that a new home buyer is going to have with an inspection? What's something that they're worried about with inspections?
The house falling through because of an unforeseen issue with the house, foundation, whatever, that wasn't seen during the walkthrough
Perfect.
or
An
the
issue
initial
comes up,
showing.
but under contract and you've got an issue, right? An issue while under contract, okay? And you can put whatever notes you want. Like it really doesn't matter. Just as long as you know what you're talking about, put some notes in there. Okay, let's say you want to talk to camera. These are types of content that you can do. You can talk to the camera, you can do a story, you can do a walk and talk. So that's just like something very casual, like something you thought of and now you're just talking about it. A green screen where you've got an article behind you and you're talking about, inspections because, somebody wrote something about it. Duetting or stitching, which means starting with someone else's piece of content and then following up with your own, or duetting them where you're watching the piece of content with your audience. Lip sync, where it's a trending sound that you're using. B-roll, which is just like background video and putting words on the screen in front of you. And then meme, carousel, and still post, right? So carousel is like, multiple slides that you're going through. So you can create all of these pieces of content from this one thing, this one idea, an issue while under contract. Okay. So talking to camera, just talk to them about that. What happens when something comes up on the inspection, right? What happens? Like, does that mean it's all over? Like, does that mean I lose my earnest money and the seller can cancel now and that's it? Or does it mean I should cancel? Does it mean I should get another inspector to come and say that it's not a problem? Do I need to get someone out here to tell me how much it's going to cost? Talk about all of that. You're the expert, right? This is where you come in, and this is where you guys show your value is in, especially with inspections, knowing what is a big deal on an inspection and knowing what to look for before the inspector comes out, knowing what to do if an issue comes up and maybe there's maybe it's something small, maybe there's a couple of leaky faucets. Can the seller fix those before closing, or can we get them to pay for someone else to come out after closing? Like, what can we do, right? A lot of questions that come up. So go in and just answer those questions, right? And this is where you go back to your calendar and you just start scripting it out. What are ideas? What are things that you can do to talk about in this video? Tell a story, right? What's something that happened to one of your clients in the past with an inspection? Did it go completely awry? Was there a mess? How did you help them solve it? Right? That's the main thing. what happened and how did you fix it? Right? And I guarantee you guys have stories about that. Horror inspection stories, right? And how did you get past it? What did you do? Even if that means that you had to cancel the contract, say that was the best thing. It was $40,000 of repairs that were needed because the foundation was all out of whack, and it just didn't make sense for my buyers. They didn't have the money. The sellers weren't willing to put enough up for it, and so we canceled. That was it. And so tell those stories, talk about that. Walk and talk is the same thing. You can make that a story. Green screen, an article that you read about, an inspection that went crazy. That's kind of like story and green screen together, or just an article that you came across about inspection. Google search inspections in wherever you are in Tennessee, right? Maybe a rule changed about how inspections work or how fee changes are affecting people. Whatever it is, article about inspections, right? And oh man, these are good. Doing a duet of an inspection, like an inspector that's going through and just the nightmare stuff that people see, doing a duet of that, I guarantee you'll find one. Just search inspection, home inspection, and you'll just find an insane number of these videos and just duet one of them. And duet is a TikTok term, but if you remix it, that's the Instagram term. Um, duet, another a viral one, a viral inspection, you know, and it's the horror stories are crazy, and then just write a little bit about it underneath and say, hey, if you're working with me, you will never have to worry about dealing with this because I'm not even going to let the inspector get out here if there's stuff like this going on. We're not even going to look at this house. So, um, talk about that if there's a trending audio that you want to use, and just put a note to yourself. Use that audio from the TikTok dance craze, right? Like whatever it is, you can do the dance if you want to. You don't have to. It really doesn't matter. But get in there and just do something that's trending, and it's quick and it's fun and it's easy and you connect with people really well on it, and that's it. So let's just count it up. We have one, two, three, four, five, and then maybe if you found a meme, six, right? That's six ideas. And that took us 5 minutes. It would have taken a lot less if I didn't talk so much, right? Um, we just got six ideas that we can now put in here and make an entire week of content about inspections, right? About one part of inspections, right? What's another question that somebody might have? Could be how much do they cost, right? How do I choose an inspector, right? All sorts of ideas. Start with a talk to camera and then just create all of these other ones after it. Make a talk to camera and a story and a green screen and a duet about it and a carousel and just talk about the different things. This is how content creators scale their content. Okay. So you may not be ready for all of that just yet, but this is how people make social media their only marketing. This is how you do it. You take 1 hour a day, you intentionally scroll, you pay attention to what you're doing, you're very mindful, very demure. I don't know if anybody knows that trend right now, but you're very intentional with what you're doing in here and how you're spending your time. And this 1 hour a day is all that it would take to make um, a very powerful social media presence. So I know that I am over. I'm glad that we got to go through some of these hands-on things, but I'm looking through questions here. Um, Audra, interest rates is a great subject to talk about, especially right now. You can do a month and a half, 2 months of content on just interest rates. Like it's insane. So that's a really good one to do. What's a good editing tool to use? CapCut. CapCut, only CapCut, all day, CapCut. Spells like it sounds. CapCut. It is by far the most powerful editing software that you can get um, for free or really even for paid. Like it's on the level of like Adobe products. Like it's insane the stuff you can do. It does more than you'll ever need to do in your life. But get CapCut. That will be your go-to for editing and filming. I film in CapCut. They just made some of my favorite features are paid now. So if you get really into it, some of it you know you might have to get the paid version, but it's like $8 a month or something. It's nothing. It doesn't cost very much. It's a cheap program if you do decide to pay for it. Most of the paid stuff isn't useful, but some of it is good. So try that. They've got a desktop version as well. If you're not comfortable using your phone to try and edit, put it into the CapCut desktop version, and it will change your life. So, um, does anybody have any questions? Anything they want to add? Chad, I'm sorry I went over a little bit. I always do. I try not to, but I just can't help myself. I'm sorry about that. But anything anyone else wants to add before we wrap up? All right. Well, it was awesome having you guys here. I really appreciate it. I am excited that you guys are going to be getting going on social media. I am happy to help any way that I can. I do a lot of social media coaching. I do a lot of content creation. Whatever you guys need, please reach out to me. Please reach out to Chad. Um, if you've got buyers that are in this market, this is a tough market. I'm telling you right now that 4.99%, that is a beautiful thing. Take advantage of that while you can. They've got houses in the Nashville area under 400,000. Does that exist? I didn't even know that was a thing. So just take advantage of these guys. They really know what they're doing. I'm excited to be able to work with you guys here in the future. And like I said, anything comes up, any questions, anything you need, feel free to reach out. You're going to get all of this stuff that we talked about today in your inbox within the next couple of days. I want to make sure I've got it set up just right for you. But thank you guys for being here, and I will talk to you again soon.
Thanks, John.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Chad. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you
Thank
here
you.
shortly.